Welcome to some more Beyond the Summit Europe action. I'm super excited for this match because we've got London Conspiracy versus Team Ad Finem, also known as X London Conspiracy. I'm Llama Down Under. I'm going to be joined by PQMZ. How you doing?
I'm pretty good, and I think I'm just as excited. Do you
You
reckon the
also.
sponsorship's on the line? Whoever wins this becomes London Conspiracy?
I don't think that's the case. I'm actually really happy that recently a lot of sponsors have been staying more stable. You know how we had a period in Dota where sponsors were kind of just picking up teams and then the moment they had a bad result, dropping them. London Conspiracy has had a lot of faith in this team, and I think the London Conspiracy team has done really well, but it should still be a good one since Advenom have been playing really well themselves. And also, you know Advenom pretty well, right, PQ?
Yeah, we've cast them at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. So they're a team I see a lot of. I'm actually constantly impressed. But let's get into it. Lone Druid Chen banned out because them's the rules, along with IO Earth Spirit. Pretty standard. Nothing odd popping up. Although this is the first game in a best of three, so there's time for that to change over the course of the next few games. Oracle OD opener from London Conspiracy.
Alright, so overall, first pick Oracle, nothing strange because both these teams tend to prioritize their heavy 5-man deathball strats. That's what they prefer to go to, so obviously Oracle's a very strong pick. AF respond with the Nature's Prophet, which I'm pretty sure if there's an option, they get it for Skylark nearly every game. And Invoker's just one of Fog's heroes as well, so why not? London Conspiracy then grab the OD because they want the lane matchup against Invoker.
Yeah, I am a little bit surprised though. I do feel that Team Advenom's opener is a little bit better. Just we've seen Oracle's really strong, but always picking the OD this early gives your team, it gives Advenom time to pick around it. The next set of bans actually really, this is some really normal gaming going on because Venge, Jug, all strong heroes. I do wonder if London Conspiracy are thinking of getting themselves the Bat Rider based on that, or just wanting to stop an early push potential coming out from Advenom.
10 seconds remaining.
It's just what both teams naturally go towards, so I think you're going to see a lot of the group up early heroes banned out. But go back to what you said about them being able to counter the OD, you can flip that thought on its head and say London Conspiracy have time to deal with the 2 cores they already know from AF, so it goes both ways. I don't think Nyx is going to be a priority for Adfinem this game. It could be for London Conspiracy. Synergizes fairly well with Oracle in terms of just dealing a lot of damage, and Nature's Prophets and Invoker are both highly susceptible to it in fights.
Yeah,
5 seconds remaining.
I agree with you on all of that. I'm just really excited. I'm still really excited just about this matchup. Okay, we got Witch Doctor ban out though, and still no Faceless Void has been picked up. There are some other strong supports still in the pool. The Bane that's been getting a lot of play value recently also helps set up those ganks on middle. We'll see what they decide to go with. And
I wouldn't be surprised to see something like an Enchantress.
Yeah, she
It's
also hasn't received a ban out here.
Becoming like really popular more with the CIS teams because of how aggressive you can make your lanes with it, but it serves a similar purpose in terms of, applying pressure early and grouping up. Maybe it's just not either of these teams' preference because it's not anywhere near as strong in the 10 to 20 minute window as Chen is, but it still offers you something.
Something else.
It's a lot less greedy than something like Enigma.
Something else interesting to note here is Team Adfinem. I'm trying to remember, but I should probably just pull stats on this. We've costed a number of their matches where they just leave Invoker in the pool, and this time they pick him up in that first round. I wonder, depending on how good this Invoker is, it may end up being banned first round in subsequent matches, but that's actually really interesting. I don't know if they've had time to practice a bunch with it or what, but I'm trying to remember if they've played a bunch, and it's not super coming up to me. But either way, Rubik, nice pickup here. Anything you steal from Oracle is fantastic.
Oh yeah, for sure. And always pretty much guarantee getting an Astral from OD, so gives you another defensive option. Not the easiest thing to use to disjoint or any particular great usage, but it's never a bad spell to steal. And unfortunately, Santi's Eclipse is not an ultimate you care about at all. Unless you're a mid Rubik, but that's not happening this game. So what is happening is the push. AF always go towards. I'm pretty sure if there's heroes that can hit towers in the pool, they will pick them. They play so comfortably with this, and I've got to be honest, I think it's a really good game to go around it because Oracle's pretty shit at D-pushing. OD never wants to level his Astral, so he has very little D-push potential. Tusk, ever since he got nerfed, less potent at it. While they can fight into you, they can't really D-push you, so if ever they get behind in the laning stage, which with a Brood, it's a big ask for them to completely lose for laning stage, but it is possible.
Yeah, this is a really, I mean, Broodmother's not someone we see get through. She's often banned in this 4th round, or teams kind of avoid her. I'm glad I didn't say it, but Kefka really likes playing the Tusk, so I was thinking maybe they were trying to set up for an offlane Tusk, something that really isn't seen as much anymore. His potential as an offlaner isn't as strong as some other heroes, but it's gonna be Broodmother, and support Tusk can get so much work done. It's not quite an Earth Spirit, but it's close.
It's a poor man's Earth Spirit, and it's also a lot easier to execute, so... But that being said, if Rubik happens to get the upper hand, then suddenly Rubik's a better Tusk than Tusk is.
Definitely,
And then life becomes hard.
snowball into telekinesis is always a funny thing to see. But as you mentioned, Adfinem on very comfortable heroes for themselves, and we'll see. The only thing, Broodmother really hard to lane against, right? If she manages to get some levels, she can murder your faces. What do you think Adfinem need here to deal with that?
Go for something like Rasta AA. Just honestly, I don't think any support is necessarily bad for them. The most important thing for them to worry about is getting 2 sets of sentries, or one set of sentries and one set of dust, and having a support that is able to find out the brood in the trees. Something like Shadow Demon works because you can poison into the trees, then you can dust him, and then he's dead like 100% of the time. If you don't want to go that route, then you just need double sentries. It's only going to have 1 or 2 max.
Yeah, I think
Win the lane that way.
it's still rough to play against the Broodmother, and Spirit Breaker, that's gonna be their way of catching out the Broodmother, light her up. Although Spirit Breaker, I don't know if he's gonna be able to get as much work done as this roaming Tusk.
I like the idea behind it though, because it's not complete focus on the brood lane, but it gives them a way of dealing with it, while it also helps with the idea that the Prophet can always TP in. They've got the Sunstrike, and gives them an alternative playstyle to just grouping up as 5 heroes and going for the push, which is pretty much like they weren't completely committed to it, but now they have a few more alternatives, and I think it just rounds out their draft a bit better than certain other heroes that I listed before.
What is this Tide Hunter? What is a core? What? Just this draft is really weird from London Conspiracy.
Mid brood, I guess.
Yeah, Kefka
Brood,
is their
short lane
offlaner,
OD.
but they can put the Brood mid. Is there any way they can put the Tide Hunter mid?
No, that is
Like, that doesn't work, right?
janky as fuck. That's
Okay.
a waste of I would rather see a Tusk mid than a Tide mid, but if they do brood mid, that's going to honestly, I think, make Invoker's life unbearable. I've not seen the matchup, but when brood mid was a thing and it was like against things like Windrunner, and not the worst hero, but it did really struggle. Invoker's like 100 times worse. He will struggle.
Prepare for battle.
Yes, and we already have. I think both of these teams, they play each other quite a bit. They know each other, so we got some spam coming out. Now, yeah, it does look like, okay, Baby Knight switches onto the Broodmother, so that answers all our questions. It will be Kefka in that offlane Tide Hunter. There are some advantages in that mid is a shorter lane. Do you think Adfinem can maybe get something out of it using sentries well there? Or are they just kind of in trouble for this Invoker?
I'm really not 100% sure because it's such an uncommon thing, but my understanding would be the brood's pretty much gonna go even on last hits, and then one thing you can do is you web up like this area. This area, when you get like level 5, your spiders start farming the jungle.
30
They come back,
seconds
you're
to
constantly
battle.
harassing the invoker through the lane. You don't really care if your spiders are getting hit by the tower every now and again if you're stopping him getting CS. I mean, maybe I'm overstating it, and Invoker can be okay in this lane, but Tusk will be the X factor in that.
It's certainly a
Brood
powerful
will have
lane.
control of the lane,
And
and then Tusk just comes in and bang, you're dead.
we've seen it before, right? Where people weren't expecting the Broodmother mid. It worked at TI, for goodness sake. Um, got themselves a win there. With C-Deck, I think the most
Really
famous
obvious
example.
this game though.
Yeah. Well, once the Tide came out, of course, it's like super obvious. Before that, I was still maybe expecting a more traditional mid laner. Either way, they're gonna get some blocking done up, and Spirit Breaker coming in has sentries and dust. Broodmother doesn't have a sentry of her own in this mid lane. They don't have sentries at all on the Dire.
I think that's fine for the start because in the mid lane it's not as big a deal because, as you said, it's a much shorter lane, it's much harder to zone you out, and
A little on top. We've got a little bit of action, a little miscommunication, but I think Skylock is still going down. Going to take that snowball in, and he's our first blood. They did stack the Astral Imprisonment and the Fortune's End, but they got the kill.
and I suppose that's gonna be expected a lot if he doesn't get lane control, which he's getting now. Hopefully, for the sake of his experience. These supports are very, very good at dealing with a Nature's Prophet. And because Tusk isn't like constantly in the lane, and they also have this really, really good lane ward on LC's side, very easy to catch the Prophet out. If he just misjudges your movements, or you're watching somewhere else on the map for a second, maybe to try and TP in, and then it's like, oh shit, there's a Tusk on me.
Yeah, it's also really hard against the Oracle because you can't do a lot of the trees stealing the creep wave tricks that you might be able to get rid of away with otherwise due to Fortune's End. In this mid matchup, it's pretty even so far. Of course, the sentry should be helping out some, but Broodmother already has a bunch of spiders, and there's not an easy way for this Invoker to clear it.
He does have Meteor invoked, but that's definitely not going to be enough until maybe even level 3 Exort, but it's so obvious to see the Meteor coming. As long as he doesn't move all of his spiders in the same direction, then it's not going to kill them. But if he does move them all in the same direction and doesn't micro them away from the Meteor, then it's a lot of free gold.
Yeah, Spirit Breaker does end up going down in the top lane while Madara gets very low in bottom. Kefka, he doesn't have a point in Gush. The salve is happening, so Madara should be fine. And yeah, as you said, in mid, definitely helping out the Invoker there. It's gonna be really hard. We're probably gonna switch over to net worth super early here, just because when you have a Broodmother, everything's all screwy. Ice Shards does come out. There's a snowball in onto Thug. Charge coming for Baby Knight. They do not decide to commit onto this one, and oh, the charge, maybe next time, does cancel it.
Yeah, hopefully the mistake is not made again, because as much as Invoker's gonna kind of struggle when the Brood gets level 5, anything he can get from that is like making the struggle even easier on his end. And like, if you're constantly pushing the wave under his tower as well, it's very easy for him to just CS with alacrity, and suddenly Brood's having a better time than she would on the offlane, but the amount of pressure she's exerting is completely different. That being said, the Tide is still having a decent time here.
Exactly. Tide, not really. I don't think there's a great way to force this hero out right now. Has 2 points already in that Kraken Shell, so Rubik's just kind of tapping up Kefka, and he's still got 5 tangos left. We've also already seen that the Anchor Smash pushing the wave into the Lycan, he's not having the easiest of time losting on a tower. He's actually down to just a Fairy Fire for regen.
I'd imagine as soon as he gets level 5 with the Wolves, he might even just consider going jungle, and then giving the Rubik this lane to get as much experience as possible.
Yeah, overall,
Because zoning this Tide is just not a thing. You can try and kill him now, but you're committing a lot to do it, and I'm not even 100% sure it's gonna work.
they have a bunch rotating in. They do not have any points in Strout. There comes the nice anchor smash. They're now going in onto Solon, a target maybe they'll be able to get. He buys some time in the snowball. Both of them are in it. Will they kill off the Spirit Breaker? No, doesn't look like it. Now Kefka in a bit of a bad position. The Howl has come out. There will be a Sunstrike. Finally get the kill onto 2, getting themselves on the board for Ad Finem.
It's so funny when you see Tide like tanking so many auto attacks, and then you just see a Sunstrike that's like, he's got a third HP left and he just drops.
Yeah, just 3 points in that Sunstrike. Already getting good work done.
I actually think the Tide was fine there despite the Tusk TPing, so maybe it was just unnecessary casualty on his end. But it's an understandable TP, right? You're not going to blame him for doing that. It's unfortunate that they still had the lift and they turned on him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't think it was a bad move there. I think even arguably, it just ended up that the Tide probably would have been fine either way. And back up to his old antics, Kefka contesting the pull. For London Conspiracy, I mean, it's still a very even game, but it just does feel like a lot of their lanes not being pressured. This Nature's Prophet already having a lot of trouble, though he does get the phase boots up from that kill involvement.
Yeah, I think LC's just gonna naturally come ahead in the lanes, but it's what they do out of the lanes that's gonna matter, because as soon as AF get to the point where their Prophet gets level 5, level 7, same for the Lycan, they're gonna want to be finding a way of pushing these towers. And LC's response to that is pretty much just to split push until Ravage comes out, and then it's a case of maybe snowball him in with the Ravage, force a team fight that way. That's pretty much the only answer to the push for a very long time.
Oh, we've got a transformation on the Lycan. Sunstrike as well. Kefka does get hit by it. These auto attacks might be enough, but the snowball in onto Madara. He needs to be careful there in his wolf form. Gonna take a tower hit here, but now they're going back in onto Solon. And again, they get the Tide and the Tusk. Really nice play coming out from Ad Finem.
Yeah, that one you were definitely not saving him, and you were pretty much just adding more to the bounty, so these Tusk rotations suddenly not looking so good. Because of that, the Prophet TPing down there doesn't get punished anywhere near as hard as it could.
Well, maybe next time is charged a lot too far. Going to fall here. There's a spit with his name on it. And now Thug, he does not have the mana to drop a meteor. So he has to be very careful in this mid matchup.
That must be like 20 spiders or something just hitting him. His health just got chunked.
You can't really charge in there blind. So, do you here build for a team fighting Broodmother? Or do you think split pushing is the way forwards?
I definitely agree with what he's gone so far. It's nice to see like the Aquila, the ones coming out. So he's probably going to go into phase or threads. I think that's just player preference, but phase boots is kind of more standard because the spiders block you a lot. Then like Vlad's SNY, Hibby. Yeah, so there's a lot of different options on the hero, but I could also see like Medallion and then trying to take Roche away from AF, because that's going to be a very important thing this game. If AF get Roche, it's a lot easier for them to just go and secure the towers.
Oh, in top
LC
lane.
can easily steal it.
So they do manage to get the kill onto the Nature's Prophet, but now Solon, oh goodness, he tries to avoid the Sunstrike. Will there be the bash that maybe next time needs to kill him? They still have vision of him, charges up in 1. The trees can see this, and it's looking like Solon may fall, maybe next time gets it. A really nice charge that stopped the TP at the last half second.
And they at least get something for that exchange, where the Prophet doesn't die for nothing. Any kill the Spirit Breaker gets on his own is helping him a lot, because he's not had any time to sit on a lane, get any farm or any levels, but he's still coming up to level 5. You know, decently on pace. Doing much better than the Tusk for that reason, for that matter.
I do agree with you. Spirit Breaker, despite getting a lot of cleanup kills, obviously helps you out a lot more as a support when it comes to gold and experience. So going to have that ult very soon, and that's super helpful. Another meteor, the spiders, a couple of them go down this time. I think some more will burn, but does not actually get all of them. And Invoker, you know, despite having the ability to get spiders and so on here, really still having a tough lane getting last hits.
Yeah, the first few levels aren't as bad as might feel on paper, but as soon as Brood gets to the point where it's like level 4, level 5, multiple webs are coming out and can pretty much just zone you under a tower without you having some kind of backup, really start to see how much this hero like just plagues your lane.
Broodmother is also playing super aggressively here, right? She is way up. They have dust. She knows about the dust on the Spirit Breaker. She doesn't care.
Yeah, the haste rune gives her like so much confidence right now. There's no hard stun to lock her down outside of a Rubik.
And these wards coming out from London Conspiracy, they've got one for mid, one here, and earlier they had a ward there. It is not safe to be in this top lane area at all, and the tower's going down in their favor.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And just because of how well the laning stage is going, OD has his drums.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Brood is level 9, has decent items to fight. I could maybe see them just contesting the pushes straight up because they have Ravage. Tide is level 8, he has Arcanes as soon as he manages to get to the shop and buy them. AF just don't seem to be getting enough out of the laning stage to be able to go for a timing that they want to. So they're going to have to adjust.
Madara's picked up a Vlad's. I'm not sure that there's space here to sneak a Roshan, even with smoke. It's just such a hard game. Broodmother can always send a spider to scout. And if you do lose the Lycan in the Roche pit, it's going to be really devastating because, as you mentioned, LC feel like they're on point to fight. They're already a little over 1.5k gold ahead, and the experience very even.
And if LC somehow
Oh,
managed
down
to...
in bottom, they get the lift onto Kefka. There's going to be a miss. Sunstrikes to Spartan, taking huge amounts of damage. A gush and one more auto attack should kill him off. Lycan goes in, Ravage completely misses on Madara. Fortune's End doesn't. He's still trying to run away. There's going to be a charge onto Jalopy. He should be able to keep running this Lycan. He actually returns to fight, and that's what ends up killing him. Biver getting the kill there. Jalopy taking quite a bit of damage. Can Skylark get it through the ult? Is going to get it through that false promise, and now Seagate stuck in the trees with the wolves, but they kill off Nature's Prophet again. Biver, they need a bash here. Maybe next time the wolves have it, but he goes down, and that is a 4 for 2.
Yeah, LC still coming out ahead, despite the completely whiffed Ravage, which looked like it would hit.
Yeah,
The Wolf outran it with his, what is it, 625, 650? Yeah, 650 move speed.
That was an odd Ravage to see, let's be honest. But, yeah, they're doing a great job. Broodmother didn't have to get involved. Now she's murdering Sespartan. Can stun up all of the creeps. Doesn't even matter if you stun up all the babies and Thug. No meteor, no nothing to drop in return to that. These spiders all getting away.
This Brood is just running rampant all over them. I'm kind of curious where she'll go. She's got money for Vlad's pretty soon, but she already has Seekila, so it's not very likely.
Up on top lane, they went for an easy kill, but they just can't get the Nether Strike to come out. First the Snowball, now the Astral Imprisonment. Maybe next time Fortune's End going his way. He goes for the charge, manages to dodge it off. He really wants Solon here. The Ice Shield's not enough, but maybe next time under the tower in No Man's Land. Does not have a charge up for 6 more seconds, and even if he does, he's got to run, because there is an Astral Imprisonment with his name on it when he tries to go for the cost. The hold comes out. Maybe next time he's charging away. There's the Astral Imprisonment, and this Space Cow is dead.
But at least he's making a lot of space. At least. That being said...
Yeah, was space really made?
Yeah, the Brood is just like making sure there is no space to be had. He did pick something up, SNY, the building of an SNY, so wanting to get as tanky as he can, which I can't really blame him. They don't have the most damage output right now, unless he literally sits in a meteor and there's no sunstrike, no spiders around him, so he gets a full sunstrike to the face.
Now they're starting to group up for the push bottom on Finem. They know that the Ravage is coming up shortly from the last team fight. They're just going to try to pound away onto Kefka. They're actually going for the tower while Kefka is just standing there. Doesn't have Ravage for 4 more seconds. Finem have to know they're cutting it close, and oh gosh, it's going to be too late. Here goes the Ravage. Transformation goes through, but Madara, too many stuns. There's no Walrus Punch with his name on him. It isn't skilled up yet. And he gets out.
And OD got no procs off any of his spells because he TP'd in with like 200 mana, and that just was not enough.
In the mid lane,
But
Baby Knight takes mid.
Yeah, it's a tower trade, but now there's no Ravage for 2 minutes. Maybe AF can that as a window. Fog is level 10, he has the double Forge Spirits, he's got his drums. I don't think there's any chance in hell you're pushing mid because Brood is just sitting here claiming her territory, but maybe you can go for a tier 2 bottom, maybe you can go for the tier 1 top and use this window. Because when Ravage is up, I don't think there's a way you win a fight. Even without it, it's like kind of questionable.
London Conspiracy's lineup is incredibly strong. I think the saving grace so far in a lot of places.
And the smoke.
Okay, they're gonna go in on the Broodmother double dust, but no, they don't see her. She went up and they went down, and now all they get is all these spiders and an illusion. So Broodmother just gonna wander away.
This is a baby night show for real.
Yeah, double dust for that as
Growing
well.
this game.
Clearly, London Conspiracy have tempo control. As you said, there was a smoke attempt coming out from Finem. What else do they need to do to get some control back in this game? What else can they do?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Suppose it's just on Spirit Breaker to find kills and for them to play as efficiently as possible so they
Radiant's bottom tower
eventually get to the point where they hit a peak. Will probably be when they get Necro-free on the Lycan, because then it's less about you going into the fight yourself and overcommitting into a Ravage as it is just putting your summons on people.
In bottom, they go in on the Invoker. They have the Ice Shards and a Sentry onto the tower. Thug, very low, no mana. He goes down. TP rotations, will they be soon enough? Spartan coming in, gets the telekinesis onto Sol, and Madara not smacking him. There's a Space Cow with his name on it. Nice stolen Ice Shards coming back in, and they will get Sol. Oh, we have a full ring. That's cute.
Structures are fortified.
The poor Lycan in the ring of ice.
At the same time as all of this is happening, Broodmother is making more of an army, and they just can't kill her. 3-0, 114 lost hits. She is huge, as you said. Oh gosh, maybe next time gonna just go down to her. He does manage to throw out the dust this time. Ice Shards comes out. It doesn't clear enough of them. Madara trying to fight up against her, but she already has points in that crippling, incapacitating bite, and now there's just no winning in a 1v1. Madara poking around the edge of the fight, trying to go back in. Kefka has Ravage and Mech. So they have to be careful, and and Finem back on out.
Looks like they're trying to snipe the chicken as well, but sorry, not AF, LC either no one's up or it's just very fortuitous that speed boost is up at that time. And now I just really don't see a way for AF to do anything except try and split push. They can cut the wave to a profit. That's about it.
I was expecting this game to be incredibly even, but it just feels like London Conspiracy have Finem's number. They're approaching that 5k net worth lead, and this is, I mean, OD is not even a super big factor right now. OD has Blink, not in damage items. A lot of this work is, as you mentioned, just being done by the Brood. It's the Baby Night show.
You also can't understate the fact that Tide is level 11, has Ravage off cooldown, and has a mech. Like, fighting into that is just so hard when you're meant to be the team that's winning the fights at this stage. You didn't draft Invoker, Lycan, Nature's Prophet to have 2 tier 1s at 17 minutes.
I don't think Finem are out of it yet. They just need a good team fight, but how they find a way to get a good team fight here, I am completely stumped. They're gonna go for the Roshan sneak. Oh no, but they know about it. London Conspiracy.
They should know. I think they're scared it's just a normal smoke. I don't think they...
Oh no, it's gonna be too late! It's gonna be far too late. They get the Aegis on the Lycan. That's a start for Finem. Maybe they'll try to run straight into the fight, but that's a mistake with the Ravage up. They're actually walking down the river. Always dangerous, this type of movement. It's a little bit risky, a lot surprised. And they're just going all in on a mid-tower push. Obviously, Madara does have an Aegis. He's gonna try to burn it before he pops the transformation. Otherwise, you hear it kinda sucks, and they can't even push because Broodmother's here.
Now they're going to need to wait for the Necro Book at the very least before they want to do anything with the Sages. But as ballsy as that Roche was, they did it so quickly that maybe LC was just anticipating like a smoke gank as opposed to smoke going into Roche. Maybe they didn't think AF would have the balls to do it. And to some extent you should also have a spider in there. That's kind of sloppy.
I think also...
That is one thing for them to get back. I'm really surprised it worked though.
Yep, Baby Knight standing in the middle here. They do get the telekinesis up, but immediately that false promise comes out, and Spartan in a lot of trouble, taking a lot of damage just from the creeps. The meteor comes out. It's Astral Imprisonment on cooldown, so everybody's gonna walk away fine.
The Invoker just a tiny bit richer than the rest with roasting those spiders.
He is having such a rough time. He got a sub 9-minute Midas, very close to a 9-minute Midas, which should set you up for something, but he just can't last hit creeps. When we look at his CS, sure he has 100, but the majority of those are spiders. And they don't give that great of a bounty.
And
Oh
it's
gosh,
like
and in bottom,
decent,
maybe next time goes down as he tries to kill off Jalopy.
Yeah, the Prophet's just deciding to
Okay.
TP elsewhere.
They're going on to maybe next time here. Oh, sorry, Baby Knight on the mid lane. Madara, though, realizing he needs to back on out. The Spider's still chasing around a lot of them. So Spartan taking so much damage here on the Rubik. Baby Knight is low, but he has a lot to dish out. They did not catch the Nature's Prophet on top, and it looks like Spartan will just burn down to these Spiders. Astral imprisons himself, but there is nobody coming to his rescue. And so Spartan, unfortunately, will fall to
Dire's
Jalopy.
middle tower is under attack.
Sad life of a Rubik. Or any support playing against a Brood, actually. So, Focus at the point where he's got money for a Blink if he wants it. He's close to a Yules if that's the route he wants to go. Either item is, I'd say, fairly important for them to be able to fight. I'd say Blink's a better option, which is one he does go for. Necro 3 is up in 30 seconds. That is like the one window I see for them, because Necrobook is so strong right now. Brood doesn't quite have another item. It's just how they actually get the chance to do a fight. You're walking to a lane probably where the spiders are just pushing it out. LC aren't giving you too much else for free.
Even if they do manage to take a team fight for Adfinem, they do push towers quickly, but with tier 2s still active, do you really think they can take more than a tier 3 at best?
Radiant's middle tower
No, I don't think
has
they're ever
been
breaking
denied.
base off a team fight. I think it's more... unless it's like an overwhelming team fight win, right? And that's what they need. Things like this are ideal for them.
Okay, there's gonna be a snowball in Sunstrike, pretty off the mark. They'll get a pick off on Solin. And that'll be that. We've also got another attempt in the push mid. They're grouping up for that.
Yeah, that's their one window. While the Necrobooks are in long enough, they'll be able to get this tier 1, and that's something, right? LC don't
Oh,
want to
yeah.
necessarily fight into that.
Structures are fortified.
This is...
But if they go for the tier 2, then I think LC are gonna want to
Dire's
fight.
middle tower is under attack.
As you said, getting a tier 1, not only is it something, it's more control over the Roshan pit, right? And it's gonna help them out. Madara gonna use that, gonna transform back, just gonna howl a bit. The units do a lot of damage here. He does have Aegis, but Aegis is coming, you know, they only have a minute left on it, and oh goodness, it looks like maybe they're trying to start it out. They've got the TP in from Solon. Madara taking a lot of damage. He's not going to respawn in the best of places, and there he goes down. We've got to charge in from maybe next time onto the backlines, trying to force out the Ravage from Kefka, but Madara, he's wandering away. Astral Imprisonment on Kefka, actually, and now the Snowball forwards. Oh no, Kefka was inside the Snowball. He is ready to Ravage at any time, doesn't even need it. They're going to get Madara. Media dropped. It's not enough, though. It just tickles them all. A Nature's Prophet ult. Nice follow-up, but again, not enough.
But both towers, so that's... I want to say it's not the worst thing for AF, because they're at least
Dire's
getting
bottom
some
tower is under
towers, so
attack.
their objective is obviously to take as many as they can. But LC are just getting so much off that. Like, that was your Asia's push, with a lineup that's designed to do this exact thing. They didn't even ravage you. Now it's even harder because OD has a BKB. He's not going to be scared about killing your Necrobooks. He's not going to have to worry about the mana burn. He doesn't have to care about any of the CC coming out or any Rubik spell steals. And the Brood's just going straight butterfly because he doesn't have to care about anything that's coming out from AF. Kind of surprised he's not going BKB, but only really the Invoker he has to worry about.
Oh
So
goodness,
he's
up on
going
top they get a
Australia.
Sunstrike onto Kefka, but they don't realize there are 3 around the Ravage comes out, maybe next time is dead. And it's looking like Skylock soon to follow. A couple auto attacks from the OD bring him down. Kefka still on the chase. The Spartan will be invisible in his own webs. But... you know, not such a great thing. Actually,
he popped
Jalopy
out.
Jalopy just sees him. He's gonna get the telekinesis off. He's gonna try to hide up in the webs again. But this means that in mid, the team fight not going so well as either for Advenum. They get 1 kill, but it's just on the Tusk Tug. Invisible, they get him with the Anchor Smash, and Madara has to just run away. Oh no, he's no longer in the wolf form. Do they have something to stop the TP? The Astral Imprisonment comes out. Rubik gonna try his best to help out here, but I'm not sure there's much they can do for Madara, and now Sespartan also in a lot of trouble. Lycan's dead. Invoker does get the kill on Oracle, but Sespartan goes down.
That might just be Q to go hit the tier 3. Not sure they'll be able to take racks, and maybe they can. Invoker's down for 20, but he does have his spells up as soon as he...
Yeah, I
should at least be able to get the tier 3 here.
definitely. The Guardian Greaves actually come out super early out of Kefka, just making sure to top everyone up. And the Rubik buyback, and they're out. I'm a little surprised at this, but of course, other heroes are respawning. You don't want to lose your OD, who's quite fat right now.
It's not the most threatening of buybacks, but it just shows AF, planning a defense, and LC probably look at that and go, okay, we don't need to take this fight, we don't need to do anything silly, our average is not on cooldown, is on cooldown, and we'd rather just go the next Roche if at all possible and not do anything stupid. Makes perfect sense. They can go back, they're farming up like a triple ancient stack, their entire woods, and they're just getting to their next round of items, which is gonna make it even harder for AF to win any fights.
Yeah,
They're pretty much just gonna have to default into split push.
This Tidehunter is also huge right now, right? He can have his pick of the litter of what items he wants to go for, can build up the Shivas next if he's so inclined. If he actually thinks their team fight's having problems, he can get a refresher pretty damn quickly because he's farming so well. And all they've got to their name on Ad Finem, they've got this Invoker who has a Blink and a Midas and a Drums. Does have a lot of gold saved up, but no Ags yet in sight.
I'm not even sure that's the item he needs. Probably the item he wants, but if it does enough is a different question. But let's be honest, does any item, like single item, that much right here?
It does feel
Necrobook's
like
kind of already passed.
they do manage to pick up Tusk in the top lane with Nature's Prophet's ult. There were also a gank going on. I don't know. I'm looking around, we're checking out the items on Ad Finem, and they're lacking, and even if they weren't lacking, as you said, they need a team fight to go their way. They need a Ravage to not be, on all 5 of them so that they can capitalize on it. And looking like Tide's going for the 4-staff.
Yeah, all they need, some silly situation where the Tide spent half of his mana farming, he pops his Greaves, and then you mana burn him so he doesn't have Ravage, and then he's just a walking watermelon. Still reduces your damage by a shit ton, but...
And the odds of that happening, though, this game, with how London Conspiracy have been playing? Yeah. There's going to be a steal. Tide blinks in, does have the Ravage, is having his mana drained some by the creeps, but they're mostly focused on the tower. They should be able to get this. No deny, and Ad Finem just back out.
That's pretty good for them, though. Just a nice, clean tower. No deaths on their end, no trade from LC. And they can probably do that to the last tier 2 as well, but doing that to the base is an entirely different situation. But I think that's their only way of dealing with this game. LC don't have the best answer to split push.
So, it's going to be a super short Roshan timer. It was a 9-minute one, and London Conspiracy on the ball and checking it. They are all rotating over. They, of course, do have dire side advantage on that. And Baby Knight has a DD. So.
Well, nearly every Roche I see these days there's a DD rune involved. Like, nearly every time, a DD just happens to spawn.
It's good timing. It's going to help them out. Now we're going to have a snowball
Calculated.
But other than that, it's just going to be a quick Roshan. It looks like Ad Finem, they have some idea, but they know they can't contest in this tight space against a Tide, so they have to let that one free. How does Ad Finem set up the high ground defense here?
They don't defend, they split push and hope to trade, because LC really don't push that fast. Sure, Brood has a butterfly in SNY, but power damage isn't insurmountable by any means unless she has like 50 spiders, which someone can deal with. Maybe Invoker TP's home and drops a Tornado Blast combo, kills them all, and the Lycan and Prophet do the split push job. That's probably their best hope, because one round of Invoker spells will kill a creep wave, then you have to deal with the next creep wave, and they might even just jump on you before you get that chance.
The
So what they're
glyph,
doing now is the correct thing, forcing them back before they get a chance to push with the Aegis.
the glyph does come out. Kefka already at the ready to make sure he gets off the Ravage. The tower took a lot of damage though. So a small win for them, and if there's another window like this, as you said, where maybe London Conspiracy don't respond so fast, that could be a ranged Rax.
Alright, so I'm gonna get flamed for saying this, but imagine if this Tide, instead of buying a Force Staff for more teamfight, which is kind of overkill on what they already have, went for something that could, you know, accelerate his ability to push out lanes and stop the split push and fought ahead a bit more. Because Force Staff isn't... Okay, it's gonna help you catch the people split pushing, but I don't think that's the problem for them. I think the problem is keeping these buildings alive from any kind of easy shenanigans that AF might pull out. There's a lot of ways for them to do it this game. Say Bug just goes into the woods. This is probably 10 minutes ahead, but you ghost walk in, drop your Forged Spirits, Lycan bots is in, and then you drop your Necro Book, you send it on a range track. That's a very, very realistic way of them winning this game. So you want as many heroes as possible to be able to like push these waves out and deal with that split push. Tide going for this is like, it's trying to secure the team fight that I think they already have secured.
Oh, and mid Madara is going to find himself faced by many, many spiders, and there is no escape here for the Lycan. Tries to transform at the last second, which puts that on cooldown for the next... Oh, well, he'll be dead the entire time, so it's about even. But looking like they might be able to catch out some more here. They've got one in the Astral Imprisonment. It's going to be Suspot going down on the top lane. Kefka taking a lot of damage. Does, of course, still have the Ravage, and he's going for it. He decides to cancel it, knowing he won't quite catch out Skylark, although Skylark coming back in. Both of them do manage to get out of that one alive, but the push down mid is coming. And Lycan, no buyback, no transformation in sight.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, unfortunately, LC aren't quite 5 yet, but just the Brood and the OD are probably enough to take down this tower.
Tornado does come out. Invoker's gonna get himself some nice baby spiders. And they're not poking at it. London Conspiracy pushed back again.
Yeah, they have the option of just going top right now, but I think they're sticking around and they really want this tier 3 while the Lycan's down. But it looks like they're not going to get too much while he's down. They might be able to get it when he's up regardless, but... Still have Ravage, they still have Sanity's Eclipse, so... I don't think they can win the teamfight very handily unless it's like some kind of stupid 5-man combo.
They are going to get off a nice EMP, but Kefka's so full of mana at this point, and Invoker, of course, maxing out that Exhort, and then the Quas next. Still, they do have Skylark poking at bottom. Kefka's rotated, so they're not getting this tower.
However, they are going to find the Lycan again, who it gets hexed up from Yellowfee, and he is Ripperoni. Bell doesn't have buybacks.
Not only does he not have
Sorry, go on.
no buyback, but also 2 deaths in a row. That really doesn't help your farming. He's got the BKB up now, but it's not looking great for them. This Lycan's item progression completely stunted, and Broodmother looking for another kill onto that Rubik. Wasn't quite able to seal the deal this time, but just showing how powerful she is.
Radiant's top tower is under
A lot more people are more powerful than a 2k net worth Rubik. It's not really much to brag about, but yeah, he's got 4k gold saved up. I wouldn't be surprised if he just went for some damage now. Doesn't really need to survive much more. BKB as a 4th or 5th item, depending how he feels, is probably the way to go, but he completely ignores everything I say and gets it anyway. So that probably means they want to go for a timing where they can end the game. Where he maybe gets tornadoed, BKB's all of Invoker's combo, and then there's not really any defense anymore, and they want to try and end the game before the split push gets unmanageable.
Aegis did just expire. It's going to be another short respawn on Roche, 9 minutes 14 seconds, but this will be an easy tier 2. They still have the one in top, but of course mid tower's taken a lot of damage on the side of Finem, and finding space to farm outside of their base. At least Skylark doing some poking at the top tower again, which is down to 300. or LC's top tower, but still, there's a lot of work to do here before they relieve some pressure in this game. When we look at map vision, Dire has so many deep wards, and Radiant's just kind of sitting mostly blind.
Yeah, that's the problem when you give up this much early and the enemy supports can pretty freely pick up a gem.
I must resign myself to causing harm.
Now they're rotating in again. Skylark will get out in time, so dodging this gank. I'm really surprised that that London Conspiracy is waiting on the push.
They don't win the push, that's a problem. If the lanes are anywhere near close to their base, they really do have to go back and stop any momentum that wave has, because Prophet and any other hero going up there probably pushes faster than all 5 of LC's heroes. Like Brood going for the SNY and BKB, they don't really give you that much damage on towers.
Up top, they're going in for it. Kefka, of course, does have the Ravage. He may be forced to blow up, but the BKB comes out of Madara. Kefka is going to hold on to this bad boy, even though it means his death. And they have gotten 2 important pickoffs. Jalopy actually saving Kefka's life for a while here. This may run down the BKB timer, and he gets the blink away. The charge comes out, but maybe next time Sheeped Up turned around on. They only got 1 there. And suddenly what looked like a really good pickoff coming out from Advenem, not doing nearly enough work. On the backlines, Nature's Prophet still trying to kill off Kefka, but they can't touch him.
That was such good bait. He held that until literally the last moment, and it paid so much dividends there. They didn't get like the biggest kills, but it's still a situation where you save your tide and come out ahead in a situation that looked very, very grim.
Pull roots and run.
Yeah, really well played again from London Conspiracy. I mean, just without that was outplay. It felt like right there. There's not too much to say about
OD is
it.
such a strong hero. Being able to guarantee blink away is so strong. And you can look at it in another way as well, where it's like AF finally feel like they get something going for them and then it's taken away from them. It can really mess with your head. It might not be the biggest thing this game, because they still have a very clear avenue of winning this game just by split pushing,
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
but it still might like really annoy them that they can't win fights like that.
Yeah, they're going to have the wolf run away again. That's kind of what he does. Sunstrike scouting to make sure he gets out all right, and London Conspiracy is still not quite able to catch someone there, although, again, when we look at the net worth, they're just pulling further and further ahead, having much more space to farm.
Yep, so it's probably just going to be the wait for the third Aegis. And as you said, that they're blatantly winning the exchange while they wait for it. The only problem is just...
Oh, they're going
making
to
sure
drop
they
a
actually
sentry.
do win.
Can they catch out on Baby Knight? They do not. Oh, they do end up throwing the dust onto Baby Knight. BKB showing up, though. Nether Strike doesn't care about that, nor does the Bash. But maybe next time. Already in a lot of trouble. They've killed off the Spiderlings, but here comes the rest of the team on London Conspiracy. BKB's popped. Madara manages to help kill off the Oracle, but Baby Knight picking off their supports on the backlines. EMP a complete with Gem on the deck as well. Invoker goes down. And suddenly, buybacks coming out of plenty. It doesn't look like... They do have one on the Invoker. Nature's Prophet is poking away at top line. The TPs will come in. Should be able to kill off these trees. Oh, Lycan was even thinking about coming in and poking away at that. He sends in his wolves, hoping to get the lost bits of the tower. Oh, 37 damage. And now Madara, they've spotted him out here. He is going to be going down. Kefka says hello. Madara's just standing there trying for the TP out. They're going to piggy him. And goodbye, Lycan.
And he does have buyback at least, so the chances are it will just be a buyback on his end and the game will kind of reset until Roche, but that's the kind of fights AF really can't afford to be taking. It was a nice idea to try and get the pick, but LC were just in and around the area and it turned bad very, very quickly.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Now there's even an AC up on the OD, so their pushing potential just not doubled, but, you know, it got a lot more effective. I also think Brood's got something coming out. Yeah, he's going Basher, so not the most tower damage, but it's definitely a lot more fighting potential.
So, fun facts. Oh, they actually do get the kill on top lane. There's going to be a nice EMP tornado. Baby Knight losing a lot of health here. Is taking damage, but not enough. I was going to say fun interaction there with Fade Bolt. Fade Bolt bounces until it stops. Until it has no more targets to go to.
Yeah, it was actually very annoying audio.
It just doesn't stop. It does not do... It does like 1 damage, though, for the last 10 bounces. Or the last infinite bounces. Whatever we're going to say. The tail. So that's pretty funny.
How much of a reduction is it? It's like 4% reduction, so yeah, it's going to take a while to go down to 1, but I suppose it can get there with a Brood.
Pretty comical to hear there. Either way, Adfinem have defended their tower. They also put some pressure on that bottom lane. They did trade up the Nature's Prophet's Light for that. And of course, top lane. 37 health on that tower on London Conspiracy's base. We'll see if Adfinem can keep buying time in this game, because they are now approaching that 20,000 net worth behind mark.
Most importantly, they might be expending a life here or there, but they're not
Oh,
expending
we have a team fight going on. Adfinem getting snowballed in on Thug. BKB comes out of Jalopy. They don't have a good way to deal with this, and Thug is a piggy. War is punched up to death. Madara's still doing a lot of damage onto London Conspiracy, but the perfect ice shot's coming out. They charge on through. Kefka, of course, has Ravage, never seems to not, and now Madara in a lot of trouble to spot, and he doesn't go down before the TP out, but they do lose the Spirit Breaker, and now... Baby Knight actually stops the hunt, but this secures them Roshan, although can Skylark put enough pressure on top lane to force back some rotations?
I don't think he's going to feel confident pushing if just one hero shows up, so it's fairly easy for LC to secure this. And yet again, it's just AF trying to do something that they really shouldn't be. Like, going for that smoke, okay, if they find one hero farming their woods and get a pick off and can translate it into Roche, not game winning, but it's ginormous for them. The very likelihood of that happening is so slim, and chances of what just happened to you, where you end up taking like a fairly full-blown fight, is much bigger chance.
Yeah.
And they're just not winning those fights. The Nature's Prophet is constantly trying to do the right thing, but the rest of his team is just trying to play a different game where they're trying to go for pickoffs, trying to get these pickoffs before Roche, and it's just not working for them. Like, it's not quite a clear call from their captain, which is generally like what AF do fairly well, in my mind. When I watch them play, they're normally pretty clear how they want to play and what they're going to do to win the game. Feels like they're under a lot of pressure, which I don't blame them. You know, you're playing against Brood and an OD and a Tide. It's not easy to play into.
The thing that seems amazing is that Tidehunter Kefka hasn't had to use that Ravage for so long. He's been able to hold it in a number of these engagements, and that's just giving Adfinem no space here. How are you meant to make something happen when at every turn, if you try to fight, as you said, you're just getting ravaged, and even if Skylark can rat a little bit, he's certainly currently weaker at pushing, it feels, than the Lycan.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lycan ends up getting BOTs as his next item, just kind of a defensive measure to show LC, if you ever want to push our base, we will just result in trying to push yours and we will push faster than you. But I don't think that's going to last for much longer because, okay, the Brood has this Abyssal now. One more item and he's probably pushing on a par to Prophet. OD having the AC makes the pushing a lot better for the team. But as the game goes on, it's just AF are getting slower and slower in the base race. They'll always win it, but the disparity won't be so big when Brood gets one or two more items. And hell, maybe the Tide even goes for... it looks like he's going Shiva, so never mind. But I was going to say maybe a Vlad's to help out.
I mean, on the side of Jalopy, their supports are... Sorry, of London Conspiracy. They used to be called Princess Jalopy. They are much richer, so it's not unfeasible for this Tusk to work on a Vlad's. He's pretty close to buying it outright, and as you said, then their push is even better. London Conspiracy, even though we're 40 minutes into this game, I think just playing it safe. They're really making sure that they win. It is a best of 3, so Adfinem have time to come back, but London Conspiracy, and they're just playing it very cleanly.
I think LC just realized they have it in the bag as long as they don't let this split push get in their head. If they just keep playing very disciplined, making sure they have heroes ready to go back, they keep constantly pushing this out, no matter how irritating it might be, they are winning because they're not giving up any stupid fights and they're making sure their buildings stay intact. And you can see from the net worth, it's constantly going in their favor.
I mean, there's just no space here for Adfinem to get anything. Not only that, of course, there's been a gem up for a while on London Conspiracy. They have all the map vision in the world, while Adfinem have none. They don't have any tools like the spiders. I mean, they can use the wolves for a little bit of scouting. Oh, okay. Madara's gonna transform here. And actually just runs back out to farm. The entire course of London Conspiracy is coming. The Abyssal comes out. Madara gonna BKB, try to get the runaway. Actually, was that just a bash proc? Nope, that was definitely the Abyssal. Thug will fall in exchange. He does have buyback. So Invoker can come back, but yeah, he does
That's
buy
a really
out.
early buyout.
I think he has to here, and they might just back off, but you know the fight's coming.
It's more like when you buy back like that, you're showing that you need the hero to defend, which I completely understand, but I guess it's just better than 1 or 2 heroes dying before he buys out, hoping to bait them into the base.
And they're doing chip damage to the top ranged racks. They managed to get down that tower and do a little over 200 onto it with OD back to defend. Is there any space for Adfinem to do something here, with knowing that the OD is out?
There's so little catch for him, that's the problem. Like, the Prophet has gone for the split push build, and rightly
Okay,
so.
Madara gets first hit bashed and then Abyssal. He falls. And he has buyback, but he
Spiders eat
used
wolves,
transformation.
apparently.
Pardon? Spiders eat wolves? Oh,
Spiders
yeah.
eat wolves.
Oh, there's a camel spider. Eats camels.
Great, I did not need to know that.
Moving right along
Spiders.
though, we've got a push coming, and they can buy back on the Lycan. They're forced to. There's gonna be a nice EMP tornado to get some units off of the tower. Baby Knight is gonna take it though. Telekinesis up. He's not the Aegis carrier. That would be OD. So Baby Knight does have to play it a little bit carefully here with his completely lacking mana, but they're just gonna pound away at it. The setup from Adfinem, I'm not sure where it is, but they're gonna have to use it soon. Of course, there is still a Ravage. The BKBs come out. There's a Deafening Blast and a Meatball. It feels like that's about it for Thug, because he's got to wait for other cooldowns. They're going to throw it out. Meatball hitting on a couple. Madara has transformation back up. He's going for the backlines, but he didn't use his BKB, so he's going to be picking up. Takes the... Oh gosh, he takes the full sanity's eclipse and the pure damage coming through. Thank goodness Solon doesn't manage to blink onto him. The charge comes out, is failed. Up on top, they are having a push. Maybe next time will fall. Stops at least. I think stops a TP. Does not stop the TP that they needed to stop. And Skylark unable to get much more done. In the meantime, this team fight's still going through. EMP again onto Baby Knight, but that guy already has no mana. Still Ravage being held here. They're healed up mostly, ready to go back into the fight, but Baby Knight working on that Rax. Gonna heal up some. And somehow Skylark has stopped this. He's actually also pushing that bottom lane. He's going to fall here for that, but he bought his team a lot of time.
Yeah, he managed to drag the creep wave, so in the middle of that fight you saw when Brood committed BKB, backdoor protection kicked in. Suddenly they weren't able to get the racks. They were able to at least kill the supports, and Prophet might be forced to buy out if they can shove the lanes in quick enough. Would put all 3 cores on buyback cooldown for at least 4 minutes. Which, speaking of buyback cooldown, the Lycan unfortunately doesn't get picked off, but he's even maybe going... Never mind, he does not have the ability to catch a blink OD.
When we take a look at the net worth, it is 30,000 gold in favor of London Conspiracy, 40,000 in experience. This is... Teams don't come back from these kinds of leads. Nature's Prophet is going to be forced to use the buyback. There are no more on the Radiant team. Nature's Prophet just going up top where the Lycan is. They need to stop TPs here from on Adfinem. Otherwise, London Conspiracy is just going to come and kill their Lycan. And, yeah, we're seeing them. They're pinging it out. They know. This is really ambitious from Adfinem.
What they have to do to stall the game out. You see that LC is still scared enough of trading racks because they know it's not favorable for them. They want to be taking some kind of 5-on-5 engagement where they can kill your base afterwards. They don't want to be trading with you and giving you any avenues back into the game. which unfortunately is very boring for them to play and also very boring for us to watch, but
Dire's bottom
can't blame them
barracks
for
is
how they're
under
doing
attack.
it.
Oh, they're going in
They-
from behind? I don't know if they can get this through backdoor protection.
No,
There's no way.
that's a very pitiful attempt.
They were trying to get the creeps up, but not so much. They're going to, you know, cause some issues for London Conspiracy, but nowhere near the kill that they needed, and now they have a lot of things on cooldown Necronomicon-wise, while London Conspiracy are at the ready. They're cutting waves, they're trying to push. They still need their creeps to jump some for Ad Finem if they want to be able to push bottom or top, but they're working on it. The split push is real.
Yeah, they're damn well trying, and this Ags on Profit is just making their life even more annoying, but might just be a position where both the lanes are pushed out far enough they could maybe finish their Axe in time, or their own is threatened.
Baby Knight is super deep inside their base, just pounding away on this Rax. There's no glyph, of course. They used it last time. They don't have a good way to stop Baby Knight. Cold Snap coming out, but he's auto-attacking in between them, and this Rax, it's looking like it's going down. Baby Knight, the Deafening Blows missed, and that's going to be a melee Rax in favor of London Conspiracy. Baby Knight looking to find the next one as well. They still do not have creeps inside the base for Ad Finem, so these backdoor attempts not going to be working. And Baby Knight making quick meet of them up top. Madara has popped his BKB, can't find somewhere to Oh, he doesn't have boots on cooldown, so he's just going to fall. And that's no buyback on that Lycanthrope. Now in mid, they've got the dust out onto Baby next time. Now the strike does manage to hit, so they'll maybe find this spider. The false promise comes out, and he is ripping right through the space count, and now working in onto Invoker. There wasn't enough damage. Baby Knight healing all the way up to full, and with no buybacks, that's GG.
Yeah, Elsie just finally found a window where the lanes were pushed out far enough they could safely commit into AF's base, and then AF panicked, tried to go for something, and Elsie caught them out. I've got to say, it was like one of the better performances I've seen against a lineup that can split you this easily. Like, they were so disciplined about dealing with it. They never overcommitted, and I also got to say, they held their Ravages like so well. They never committed them just to secure kills. They used it more as a defensive mechanism in terms of, we have Ravage, there's no way you're winning a fight.
Yeah, I really well played from London Conspiracy. I think we're going to see some draft changes in Game 2, which we'll try to get to all into right quick. I'm Llama Down Under. I've been joined by PQMZ. I can be found on Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch as Llama Down Under. PQ doesn't social media, but we'd both love feedback on how to make the casting more enjoyable from you, and you can send it to those places. Let's get you into Game 2. There'll be a short wait as players get to the lobby, and we'll see you soon.